because, again, like the last move that was made with Aroldis Chapman, I think a lot of fans were kind of blindsided by that. Wasn't expecting that type of a move, but, we've discussed at length about, what it does for this team. But starting pitching still a need. And now that Alex Wood has gone, and then Paxton is gone, it's like, all right, buddy, what's left?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to assume that Snell and Montgomery are off the table. I think the Pirates are certainly capable of finding the money to get those guys. It's just based off of the behaviors that we've tracked for 30 plus years following this team. It's just likely not a thing that's going to happen, right? So if you take those two guys off the board, then you start looking at the rest of the guys, and you're pretty much left with two names, I think, who are actually somewhat capable arms. And that's Mike Clevinger and Michael Lorenzen.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are like your two guys that, like, if you bring in one of those two guys, then you at least are bringing in someone that you feel comfortable starting the season in the rotation. I'm still even a little bit skeptical on someone like Lorenzen, just because last year was really his first full year starting. And you saw how he kind of broke down towards the end of the year, right? Clevinger comes with his concerns as well, right? From multiple, there's some character issues there with Clevinger too. I'm not as anti Clevinger as I am some other guys, because Clevinger's never been suspended for anything. Like he was cleared after an investigation, so like I'm willing to give him a little bit more benefit of the doubt than other guys. But I think those are pretty much the two names right now where, like, if you can't get one of those two guys, and if you can't spring a trade, which we'll talk about later, then you didn't do a good job this offseason.
You're pretty much hoping and praying that the internal options do hit. I'm with you. On the graphic, I have Jordan Montgomery because, well, he could be an option. Like, I certainly think the Pirates could make that move. And what would that move do? Put them at about $100 million payroll. Ooh.
Right.
Can't do that. But, that's what we're talking about. I mean, you already signed Chapman for $10 million as a reliever. So if you're actually going to sign like a legit starter, a lefty starter at that too, for about $20 million a year, I mean, like, that's the move that makes this rotation feel good. You already have Mitch Keller there, right? And we've talked about the other guys. I mean, like, if you squint hard enough, you can see good stuff out of them. But there's still some risk with, quite a few of them also. But you add someone like Jordan Montgomery in there to stabilize it. Now you're able to play with a little more risk because you're comfortable knowing at least two of the guys, again, probably three health-wise, right, will last the whole entire year. So now it's plug and play for 2 spots instead of 3 spots. And I'm good with that. I'm much better with that. But like you said, chances are, because of the 30-year pass, what we've seen them do, though, again, they did make the Chapman signing. I'm not leaning towards that way. So Michael Lorenzen does make some sense. I know what you're saying, and of course that's his risk, and probably why he's still available in that sense. Someone said here, Ryu. I don't hate that, but again, like, that's just another one of, like, this is another edition of what we already have. It's just a lot of risk.
Yep.
Who is that guy again? It's been back-to-back years where he hasn't even put up over 52 innings, right? In 2021, he had 169 and 27, 52. They weren't all that good or solid. So it's like, what are you really getting? Again, it's just adding to the jumble that's already here. So then, yeah, like you said, you're kind of looking for a trade. But
yeah. Someone in the chat here brings up, if they sign Chapman, would they sign Julio Urias? And I think that the big difference here is that Julio Urias is still under, like, there is still an ongoing domestic violence investigation going against him.
Right.
It was just turned over to the Los Angeles County Police Department. There's not going to be felony charges, but there could certainly be misdemeanor charges. also MLB has yet to, hand down anything there. And you've got to assume that, like, if he's slapped with misdemeanor, if he's slapped with any sort of charges, like Major League Baseball is going to be suspending Julio Urias for a little bit of next season. So I think he is completely off limits for not only a team like the Pirates, but I think for like all of Major League Baseball in general. Like they're not. I don't think anyone's going to touch him until all that's figured out.
Yeah, I mean, think about it, Jim. The one team that could probably afford to touch him right now is the team that he was with, and they're not touching him. So, yeah, can I say something? Like, I'm with you. Also, there is a clear difference here. Talented arm, we know the talent that's there, but right, you're just not simply doing that at this point in time.
Yeah, I think that's out of the equation. And then, like, just looking at the other names, like Brandon Woodruff is somebody who would be interesting, but again, he doesn't help your 2024 team. I'd be completely open to giving Brandon Woodruff a 3-4 year deal, right, for the future, but that doesn't directly impact this 2024 team. So I get what you're saying with Montgomery. Like, it's probably a 20. He's probably getting $22 to $24 million a year, which is something the Pirates can afford, but he's also probably getting like 4 or 5 years. So, like, do you see the Pirates handing out $100 million deal to Jordan Montgomery?
No. Again,
no, I don't.
Yeah. We know that's not happening, but it certainly could. Like they've put themselves in that position to do so. And there's not any greater year of that dire need to do it than this year. That's where I'm at. We know there's a lot of pitching coming in the pipeline. That's for sure. But that shouldn't keep you from investing into this year, because you could certainly just use those as trade chips later. Because you know what? You already have a Jordan Montgomery.
Yeah, and now look, I mean, don't get me wrong. He fits perfect here, right? Like, if you could sign him long term, and then you've got Keller, him, and then that's like, and then Oviedo coming back too, you got to kind of assume he's at least, gonna bounce back here and rejoin the starting rotation. But you've got Keller, Montgomery going forward. That just is a lot better next offseason too, because what's going to end up happening here is if these young guys don't hit, because they're not all going to hit, you're going to have to go next year and do this exact same thing again, right? Like, if next year we've got Keller and say we've got Skeens and one other guy, you still have to go out there and find 2 more guys. So, Montgomery fits well. I'm not going to deny that he doesn't fit well. I just I just don't see this team signing Jordan Montgomery.
I'm with you.
I would be shocked. It would be the most shocking thing they've done, maybe ever, to be honest with you.
You could argue it.
Yeah,
like the pause, I think, says it all. You have to actually like something as stupid as that. It makes you think. Yeah. So I think like that says all that you need.
It would be their biggest signing of all time.
Yeah,
and not even close.
But we always hear it takes 2 to tango, right? And like Jordan Montgomery, we need to want to be here, and that's something that it seems like most free agents haven't been saying to the Pirates. But I think this one's also a little bit different, because it's not as if he's looking at a 1-year, hey, reset my value type of deal, where it's like, the Pirates aren't that, they ain't that team to do that with. But it's also, since like he's not younger, like, coming from like Japan, right? Being younger, that you probably could go ahead and achieve another big contract. Like, this is probably his biggest opportunity to strike, right? He probably gets signed. If he gets a 4 or 5 year deal, probably sign again. But those are like your 1-year deals afterwards and such. So like this time, you're probably looking to take the most money, if that makes sense, right? That's the factor in this contract for Jordan Montgomery, much like Blake Snell. Like, this is their time that you're cashing in. So the Pirates are is willing to cash in. I think he would probably agree. I'll say this: his chances to agreeing are probably more likely than other guys. So like, I don't think there's like an opportunity where the Pirates could probably give him the most money and he still says no. So yeah, like it could certainly happen.